moves in. All right, strong mid jungle for game one.
Thank you very much, Jojo. I get to watch my favorite champion get played into this one.
Yep.
We assume it's going to be, of course, into that core key, into the mid lane as well. Last pick, potential support, potential jungler. The Maokai is a flex between the two of them. You might want to go towards that Rel for the extra engage, and indeed they do. So you have Rel, you have the Maokai, you have the Varus ultimates, all pinning people down for the equalizer to get huge value on the side of K-Corp. On the other side,
Vamonos and LNZ, both alike as my representation to take you into what should be a blast. And let's hope these skirmishes really power out. Welcome to our match of the week, our first one of the year. And we hope it delivers like they did yesterday against G2 and Fnatic alike.
first things first, into the early game. Well, that's first things first, makes up your PC for us. So I'm saying, oh yeah.
I tried really hard. We're gonna have a talking, all right. When was the last time you at home thought about the Roman Empire? As we get into this match of the week, finally, who will be Caesar?
Don't really know where to go for that one now. Varus, give me back my legions, give me back my gameplay. We're back into it now as the pause is over. I know, I practice these things, believe it or not. Level 1 does signal that we are not having a lane swap, which I like quite a lot, because when you have a bunch of lanes which you want to hype up like this, and this is not what Targa wants to be.
He can't crush down over the wall, he flashes, but Super matches it, and there is a render spare. First blood over to Spain.
Targa with the overstep. Yike, now in a really weird position because he wants to get started on A camp somewhere, but there's a good chance he's forced off of this. Alvaro and Elyoya walking up to contest.
How annoying as well. As you said, it's all going to come to Smite Battle. Patience is running out, which might move out, but Yike gets it. He's level 2, but as he runs away, Phase Rush the only thing that gives him heat. As you see Alvaro taking the full damage. Gatling Gun as well going to help out, and a Bramble Smash or two, but no further follow-up. Alvaro gets on out, and Yike regains his jungle.
Yeah, that's really important for Yike, because when you get these weird level 1s where maybe there is an invade coming through, there's a good chance you're going to lose camps, which you by all means should have had rights to.
Yeah.
Getting that steal away means that Yike isn't going to be starved out of XP and gold, and especially falling behind against a Shinzao can get really, really dangerous, so that's important.
Well, with that skirmish going awry, with First Blood still going to Super, it's great. But remember, again, Alvaro had to reset with that health bar, so it means he's going to be late to this 2v2. It does mean Kalist and Targamas seem to be gaining control for now. As we turn our heads a little bit to mid, and that Corki seems to be gaining control as well.
So we'll have to see what kind of platform that gives to both of these teams to make plays off of. Of course, the Poke Varus, very good in lane here against the Kallisto. We've seen a couple of those arrows land already. Super jumping forwards, trying to get some value down. Of course, going for the lethal tempo with the Renata gives you that ability to kind of drop into the bailout, take really heavy trades, go beyond your HP bar, and then look for a maximum random amount of damage that you can. Problem is, you're going to hit that 0 mark very, very quickly against a Poke Varus, because he keeps, you know, pelting you over
Very
and over.
true.
Legolas build.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a rarity, but, you know, seeing the Poke Varus here in this game is kind of lines up with what you're talking about, the range in draft of what Casey really want to do, and, you know, I see it now as well. It is a rarity because I think on-hit has become so common with the current meta of tanks that we've seen in 2 or 3 different roles at this stage.
Yeah, it just feels like everyone's just had a race to get as tanky as possible, as quickly as possible, because it allows you to disrupt very well, particularly when you've got mid laners doing a lot of damage right now, and the AD carries kind of like backing that up too. Once you're in kind of like your jungle support top lane, you don't feel forced to go heavy damage after that point, which is why, you know, we see now the Shinzao and the Xante going to be really hard to chunk through in these later game team fights, so we'll have to see how KC manage their big combo to kill the important people in the back line and not have to deal with those tanks.
It just feels like we're in a football game. Like, it feels like, you know, both teams are there as Flash is going to match Yike right into the enemy jungler, but Elyoya can't get nearby. He's left Alvaro. It's a good handshake back as Elyoya gets a flash out of Yike, but now he's gone in deep. He flashes too, and Vladdy matches over the wall with Gatling Gun poking him down. It's Super. 1 after 1. Koi are separated, and they don't have numbers. A spear as well, not connecting until Super gets a double, but Kalist with the shutdown is big. He'll get his own reset.
Oh, yeah, I definitely echo the football sentiments. We'll definitely need to get a VAR of that one as well, because there was a lot to review in this one. So first things off, you don't have the Kalista in range here at first. You're taking a fight on the bot side of the map. I suppose MKOI are not necessarily choosing it themselves, but they don't have the Kalista. I wonder whether they could have just left that Renata to die. Feel like they can then buy into a fight they're not really ready to fight. And the biggest thing here is that because of all of these random skirmishes, we're not actually getting to see the laning prowess of Super Alvaro and Jojo as well. It really has this about Casey basically trying to just skirmish them away from their lanes.
Yeah, what laning?
Yeah.
Like,
you and what lanes?
seven pieces of blood in about 5 minutes, and Super's now decided he's going to play topside.
Hang on. If it keeps going like this, are we going to see Ruinous Atacon?
Ooh.
Keep your eyes on that one. I only just thought about that.
What a rarity.
I'm just saying, it might be on the tables. Over a kill a minute so far. That would be a rarity.
I mean, I feel like we have to have 15 or 20, and it also takes into account the damage, remember, which... God, I hope there's a lot of that. So you're right, Namira, I'll hold my breath here as at least the early game gold lead for KC is something we should mention. Even with Super and Alvaro trying to get turret plating, you look and you see mid ahead here with Vladdy up 300 gold.
Yes, for now, but he did just take a chunk there. Super Alvaro getting chunked out a little bit as kind of throws out the ultimate, trying to stop the priority for the grubs, which are going to spawn in 30 seconds.
That seems like a very quick level 6, by the way. I'm just going to throw that in there. 5 minutes that was picked up as Kana. You mentioned he's going to clear the wave. I'm now looking at Jojo. What's his wave going to do with Yike coming in? A twisted advance, flash away, charm. Hits a minion! You didn't like that. I saw your face as Vladdy picks up kill number 2.
You see the logic. It's okay. Drag the Maokai under the turret. Get the charm afterwards. Now, Yike might be punished anyway, though.
Ruinous Atacon. I'm feeling it, man, because Super's going to get this kill and Yike's rendered down. 80 carries are going to be fed this game.
Blood for the Blood God, skulls for the Skull Throne this game. It is all action all the time. Exactly what you want to see between these two super hyped teams. Grub's going to go the way of MOVISTAR KOI, which they were aiming for in the first place by bringing their bot lane top lane. Not really the route I think they expected to get the Grubs, but they'll take it anyway.
It's going to give them one start towards that second part of the feat of strength. Remembering First Blood went over to Super, so that's how they kicked it off. Super just keeps swapping lanes. He went from bot to top and now to mid to get the push in, as Vladdy's in a bit of trouble, getting poked out as well with good damage from this 80 carry.
So Super starting to really take control of whatever lane he's in. 4-kill Callista will do that. Honestly, a 0-kill Callista will do that, so the 4 kills make that much easier. However, a lot of this early game has come at the expense of mid-jungle of that Xinjiao and the Ahri. They are meant to be an early skirmishing, snowball off the first fight kind of duo. It is a problem that they're behind. I like the Dark Seal first back from the Ahri. It's always my favorite thing, getting those stacks. I am obligated to talk about Magi's when it comes to my main champion. But I think in this game, now you're going to have to see, well, okay, Jojo, you are behind the game, but you still need to find a way to skirmish your way into a relevant point. How do you do that now with lacking gold compared to where you should be in the game?
I mean, for Jojo, it's not a position we saw him in yesterday, especially on this Azir that had good laning, that had great stats, that led into great skirmishes. So the fact he's behind is going to give him a new test here in the LEC, as Koi will pick up the Dragon.
And also, real credit to KARMINE Corp for that, because I consider Jojo one of the best laners which NA has ever produced, especially in the mid lane role.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about already Super and Alvaro having a very good kind of pedigree there too. It hasn't been about the laning of MOVISTAR KOI in this early game. It's been KARMINE Corp trying to skirmish them, and the skirmishes have gone both ways. It's not, the hugest advantage. In fact, it's dead even in gold. There is no advantage really when it comes to that. Sure. But I like this approach from KARMINE Corp, saying, well, okay, you think you've got good laners. Let's make it not about lane.
Well, yeah, it's dead even because, again, I already talked about mid, but 80 carry, 500 up for Super, by the way. As you said, it's a strong Callista who, now with Berserker Greaves, Pickaxe, Vamp Scepter at 8 minutes, Super's dueling capability is going to be unleashed. And speaking of the Fate's Call, Fate Sealed, Fate Happy, whatever you want to call it, it's Fate Sealed, Fate Called. It's a Fate. He's got his ult. You know what I'm talking about.
You can have the 3 fates at this point.
There's too many, man, there's too many things with similar names, like...
do you remember you had like Unstoppable Onslaught and all of them?
Unstoppable Force,
yeah.
Unstoppable Charge.
Yep. Some words are just good to use.
Yeah, they are. It's good when you get like behind enemy lines, you know? It's like, oh, that's different. Sort of.
Just a little bit. Okay, so we do get ourselves this 2v2 on the top side now. Good thing about Varus getting towards this kind of items, you do get to kind of stop interacting within kind of Callista's active range. If you misstep badly enough, then of course the Callista can throw the ultimate, close that distance very, very quickly. But for now, playing at the edge of that Q range keeps you safe enough from this very, very scary Wrecking Ball Callista. Grub's coming up in 1:30. See whether that will be the next kind of point of concern. Giving 6 grubs over to a Callista with this many kills.
Yeah.
A bit of a problem later on. I suppose you do have enough wave clear from the Varus to make it a little bit less scary around kind of protecting your turrets, but still not something you really ever want to give up.
But again, I mean, it was talked about, I think it was Jack backstage talking a little bit about it, how Callista now feels so much better to move as well. Early movement given with those shoes, and Also with Super with the lead as well, Kalista just has that much more control in the game, that much more power thanks to the changes once the game goes on.
Oh, there we go. There's the ult.
There it is, the Fate's call. Got it right. The handshake, though, a bit of a miss onto Kalista as he backs away.
Was it a miss or was it a slick sidestep?
You can say.
I think you can... Depends which side you're supporting in this one, but still, that is the big play you want to try and make to close the distance against the Poke Varus, force him to interact, and Kalista says, no, I'd like to not. Survives that one. Very important. If that kill had come through, would have opened up a very easy 6 scrubs, I think, inside of MOVISTAR KOI.
Well, does the pressure amount to enough? You can see Targamas is sitting on the edge, just looking for a bit of an angle. Jojo Pune, after dealing with the wave, now having... Well, he's had level 6 for a while, but having that angle, thinks about it, but Twisted Fans catches him first. Bramble Smash, he's destroyed. Doesn't get to move, and now Elyoya is stuck here in a 1 versus 2. Vladdy hits the circle well and makes sure he's inside with Phosphorus Bomb as well. That 6 scrub dream, I think, is dead.
Welcome to the EU, Jojo. It's been a hard start to this game, 0-3. This mid jungle is meant to be such a powerful early skirmishing duo, as we've mentioned before. It has not been about that, though. KARMINE Corp stamping authority down in mid jungle.
Kana as well knows Elyoya doesn't have ult. He just runs into melee range, flashes, matches, and overheats right in his face. Elyoya running for his life, slowed down, but in the way is Super. This fat 80 carry. You shall not pass with a rend in his way, a slow with the pierce as well. Super will run him down, and Mirwin will help put him into the ground.
Mirwin takes the kill, fully earned by the top laner. Definitely had the most damage in that one, but the biggest thing I noticed on the map here is that normally when you have a kill takes so long to be confirmed, normally you're trying to push somewhere else. No one was out on the map there for KARMINE Corp. It was an opportunistic play from Canada to try and get a freebie onto Elyoya, but the rest of the team is not really on board in terms of finding something else across the map as MOVISTAR KOI rally to the aid of Elyoya. And now we finally get that grub spawns. This game has been so frantic, it's been quite hard to set up traditionally for these objectives. And actually, KARMINE Corp, they're going to take one of these away, denying the full 6 grubs.
And I'm going to come back to what you said before. I really hope that this is the ruinous game, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
11 kills, 11 minutes, a lot of trading back and forth, a lot of blood.
I think we're getting close to the threshold. I think it has to be... I don't know whether it has to be 1 kill a minute at the 15-minute mark or slightly over that point, but I've not got to see one of those games yet. I'd be very happy to see it.
It's a solo queue Atakan. We'll just wait and see. Elyoya might add some damage into the pile as Kana underneath this turret looking to move up. The equalizer, though, forces Mirwin over the wall, but he spams the emote and he's out.
Mirwin gets the extended E range by going to the ally. I'm not sure if Kana saw that one happening. Maybe thought he could force the flash out instead, but it's going to be an ult down for Kana.
Well, as Mirwin backs away, you might have to be careful because Targum is setting up into position. Meanwhile, in top, Jojo, Pune, and Vladdy battling it out. But, I mean, this is a Trinity Force Corki. Jojo pops the ulti, and he's got Malignant. All he needs is a good orb and a charm. That'll do it, but he's now run out of the ultimate. Jojo gets tagged on the way out, but Mirwin teleports in. You said it was well-deserved before, but this time, Elyoya makes sure it goes to him.
Jojo managed to get the calculation right this time, knows he can get in and get out. Gets himself kill participation from that one. Vladdy goes down. Not enough support on that side of the map. KC do have a cross map this time, though, while an extended kill is going up on top side. They're taking the dragon on the bot side as well. They now have themselves 2 of those objectives for the feats of strength. There are 2 either side now, so that one is very, very close to be completed by either team.
So it's probably just going to come down to the Herald that spawns in about 3 minutes' time. Remember as well, 16 minutes, the Herald spawn. Atakan 20, 25 for the Baron, of course, that's been the change. And I'm just counting down objectives because it's what League of Legends is these days. Is
Flash.
Let's look for the fight instead. Screw objectives, flash away, but the Rel, Magnet Storm, beautiful, but on the other side, I think Alvaro's ult was better. KC have to run away now because Super has rocked up. And MOVISTAR KOI, the fight turns on a hinge as Change Corruption gets through. Reset as well, but Jojo will find no one to come back to life.
Looks like a fantastic spot to use the Renard to disengage in the way that we warned KARMINE Corp about from the draft. But with Kalista turning up at the end, the kills do end up becoming equalized at that point, so it's not the worst case scenario. KARMINE Corp actually walk away with better health bars at the end of it.
They do indeed, and they're close to getting first turret in this bottom side. I want to know what's happening top because Mirwin's trying. Teleport's going to be burned. We don't see it on our screen right now because, again, KC pushing for it, but there you go. Feat of strength picking up by MOVISTAR KOI. and Kalish is going to be second fiddle with the turret pod.
Yeah, that's important, and that does mean the feat strengths, of course, won by the blue team. See at the top of your screen. Compare this game now to the last game that we had. One big difference I want you to think about is how, when something is happening, what is happening on the other side of the map. I think in the last game, it was a little bit tentative in terms of, oh, can we move there quick enough? Is something going to be achieved? And it ended up being this kind of stalemate. This time, both of these teams have been really gunning to get something going on one side of the map at the same time as something else is happening on the opposite side. So they can try and play both sides and get something out while the play is happening.
I see logo top left, by the way, just to interject. That better not be Voracious Atakan. I see it being red.
We were this close to greatness.
It is just a logo, and that means Atakan spawning. So I'm just going to hold my breath and wait. That's all. I swear to God.
I think we might have just missed it, which is so sad to me. How close? We were this close to greatness.
1 kill a minute surely should just be Atakan, you know, ruinous Atakan. I just want to see the 25%. As a side note, he is spawning bot this game.
Which is really important because, of course, whichever side it spawns on changes the terrain of the entire map, and particularly when you've got champions like Maokai who forces you to play against walls or away from walls, it'd be very important. Of course, the Leona Rumble. That's the big one. That's not even close to this game. But the Rumble and the Maokai love having walls around their objectives to pin people into those choke points. Can be very, very powerful. So watch for the future Dragon fights and how that might affect things with the extra terrain involved.
Well, playing around that terrain as well, remember the Fog of War acts differently, acts like a normal wall. It's something we've seen over day one and, of course, across LPL and LCK. More to what Nightmare is saying.
Did you just call, wow, that wall is a wall?
Yeah, that was a wall. The wall acts like a wall.
Is it blue?
It's... no, that would be bias. It is not. Herald of Spawn, though. And so for Koi, as Super tries to get this push, you can see they're moving for this. Jojo's also backing with teleport available. And he's going to have Sork shoes in his inventory, ready to fight.
Yeah, this is a really good power spike to be fighting around. I think for MOVISTAR Core, you have such a powerful Kalista. You have the Shinsei and the Aria kind of getting towards the apex of their powers as well. 1 to 2 items really where they start to come to play. New enough on this top side. See what he can do to hold that front line and back line apart from each other. K'Sante also very, very tanky at this point of the game. Charmland.
Over the wall. Jojo pokes out Targmas. That is their engage. Now into half HP. Kalist walks up. Chains of Corruption there, but Orb of Deception just to clear the wave, and there's not enough damage to burst him completely. Movistar Koi get themselves what they want as Charm misses here with Spirit Rush. Jojo struggling here in this game, but Alvaro is not. Look again with that ulti. 2 members berserk. Helps them get 1, and Mirwin can't die in the front line. Jojo gets a reset off it as well as Equalizer onto Mirwin. Is now the target. He's been auto, but not to death. Jojo misses the charm again, but Movistar Koi have done their due diligence. They've got their kill, and now they're clearing the wave so that turret stays standing.
Now, it looks like the mid lane turret will just about survive. Elyoya hovering over the wall. It's a place to be sat waiting.
I was thinking about it.
That was a good turnaround mid-team fight from KARMINE Corp. I thought as soon as Jojo kind of started jumping forwards, he played his range really well, so he couldn't get caught out by the Maokai W playing beyond that range. Really thought that something bigger would come from that, but they couldn't quite close down the kills, and it means that the Herald is taken, but Koi can't really capitalize on the opportunity after that.
You know, I saw Mirwin this morning, and he said, unending despair. Whenever we saw tanks, he was just like, unending despair. Unending despair. Even though the item got nerfed, he likes that item, and that's going to be his first item. As you see here in this replay, this is why he could survive for so long.
Yeah, I think Jojo plays his ranges really well here. It doesn't get too close to the Maokai, means that he's not really a threat, and the follow-up of that Renata long range just kind of splits the team beyond it. Thought that was going to be a good intro, but then Mirwin just goes a little bit too far, and so come back to live now, Dragon's being started.
Well, Ren's going to make it a sure thing, and you can see that KC, they're not contesting this. They're just farming their own jungle, and as Yike does that, second Dragon of Movistar Core going to be taken away. Ocean sold this game as Alvaro looks for a pick, but Handshake goes a bit wide.
Jojo potentially could make a play there with Flash and Ult. If he got a little bit closer, it could have been very dangerous. Really feel like Movistar Core now starting to feel like they can make a few more plays. KARMINE Corp, they've of course got some really big damage on the Varus themselves. We talked about the Kalista being very powerful. I think the Varus, I mean, we'll see plenty of that now. Just about missed on the ult fault traded.
It is ult fault, as you just said, as Jojo going to use the last one after clearing the wave. But it was a turret trade as well. Over the wall, we just talked about Vision as ultimate used onto Super, but after the equalizer, Fate's call might be the return as Super instead, or rather Alvaro, picks to get out.
Is he going to continue the play? No, he's not. potentially flashed over, but I think with Flash Cleanse on Kalista, you'd just be over-forcing and potentially getting turned around on by that pretty fair to AD carry, but not a bad option from KARMINE Corp. One of the big things I think that KARMINE Corp are going to be looking for is to force out the occasional Kalista roll. It's not like this is the old Axiom Arc Lethality Kalista, which would have it up all the time. That was a really not fun build to play against, I'll tell you that one. But if you can get stuff like the Renata ult, the Kalista ult, the Shinzo ult, before the big fight comes through, what you'd normally think of as a, oh, great disengage comp from MOVISTAR KOI, it doesn't function the same when you don't have one of those big ults. So KARMINE Corp fishing for stuff like that might not mean much in this case, but the next time they do it and look towards a big fight, that could be genuinely game determining.
I mean, I'm looking at Super's ult cooldown and it is slowly ticking away, right? It's further to your point that that is something quite important to get out, especially when I feel like Alvaro and Super have been pretty key to some of these plays. We talked at the start, and you specifically mentioned the draft and how mid-jungle functions, and repeating your point from the first 5 minutes, that's not how it functioned in this game. Super and Alvaro seem to be the key to this, and now with Gwynce's Rage Blade, we're just going to watch those cooldown summoners included here as to how they function on this duo as Voracious Arakan. What a surprise.
We were so close. We were so close. We could have had it all. Dragon now spawned all the same. Look, I'm just not gonna think about Arakan for a bit. Dragon on the table. Maybe there's some poke that lands. Watch to see who can enter the river and hold it with enough HP.
Jojo with an angle hit, thinking about what he can do. He's only got a Fiendish Codex. That's the last buy since he last fought.
Glad he's on vision there.
He's got his ult available, and as you mentioned, that ward, it's actually got the new passive on the ward as well, so it is a 4-stack of a side ward, making it harder to take down.
That always just really messes with my brain, seeing the...
Behind enemy lines, or whatever it's called. But look at it.
Isn't that Quinn's ultimate, behind enemy lines?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Arakan started. So KC don't have vision on this. They should. Hang on, this is a giant rend though. If this goes unseen for long enough, it won't really be an even smite fight.
They have spotted it with the blue ward though, but it's about getting there. As you said, Kalista also burnt out by Jojo, so he's done his due diligence and kept the AD carry away. Nature's Grass going to come through late, but as you said, the rend could be big, but it's zoned away. Super not in range. Yike is jumping in, looking to get the steal here while Vladdy finds Jojo on the back end, but Arakan is the focus here. However, Targamas went in without his team's focus, and now they're getting the rend. Super gets a reset thanks to Alvaro. Revived, alive, is he? Yes, he is. Kana can't get anywhere near him. He'll withdraw thanks to Arakan, but MOVISTAR KOI, their AD carry, skirts the fight, and Kalista now about to bite the dust.
The spears run out on Arakan, so it's not a clean take from MOVISTAR KOI. But I mean, they win the fight afterwards, and the GAs are now all gone. There might have been one still now available because they died before they got the buff, but still, Arakan goes down, but there are at least, I suppose, for MOVISTAR KOI, no extra GAs to worry about in the next phase of play. This was an absolute mess of a fight. Those spears were really starting to get stacked up, but as you'll watch later through this, because of the equalizer, Super has to retreat, and he can't get back in range to just keep that cooldown running onto Arakan. The spears fall out, and then suddenly the smite gets really, really hairy after this point. You don't have the uneven smite fight. The job is done from KC to kind of stop Super from going through that. Don't stop him, of course, from getting the kill after that point, but at least the Arakan doesn't go over.
Man, the bailout clutch. Alvaro is having an insane game. I think Kalista as well. I'm going to give him some kind of praise. His range in these battles are quite large, but I mean, if I start praising one, I got to praise the others. Still a close game, a tense game. Arakan was taken, as Nomura just said, but I think most of it's run out.
No, and this is perfect. Vladdy does have the GA. He died before it came through last time because it took a chunk out of Jojo. But yeah, we are now almost even in kills. We have 3 grubs apiece. We have, 2 dragons, 1 dragon to the other side. We are very close in gold. Exactly what I wanted to see from these 2 teams. It is a tense affair where we will finally get to execution in team fights, positioning from our key carries, a chance to really prove yourself mano a mano in the rivalry in the LEC, which so many people care about right now.
The rivalry that Spanish and French fans definitely care about a lot. We've hyped it up, and I think we said it a lot last year. It's really exciting to see that, these cultures going head-to-head on the LEC brings out the best in some of the fans. As they've showcased here today, they haven't stopped cheering, they haven't stopped yelling. Whose voice will kill out first? That's the biggest question, as Dragon will go down to the bot side while this is happening. Jojo is going to try and look for the charm. Vladdy is going deep because he's got that GA available. Elio looking for the knockup. Is he trying to buy time for that GA to expire? Yes, but Vladdy will go under turret. and find his Zen anyway.
Yeah, Vladi takes matters into his own hands, says, okay, it won't run out if I choose my own place of my demise, goes down, immediately respawns at the fountain, so it's only going to be a little bit of gold and XP going over instead of the full kills worth. And of course, importantly as well, it doesn't give you anything like Dark Seal stacks. Also worth noting, if you die with the GA thingy on, you don't lose them either. That not relevant in this game.
You have tested that.
Yeah, I have. Worth knowing though for future reference as well. And we are back to what is a very even game state. We haven't seen that much prevalence on looking towards the side lanes and pushing it out like that. It really has just been be at the scene of the crime, make sure you're ready to fight all the time, just like this.
But no follow-up. Kana not even thinking about dropping that ulti as Kalisz now down with his for a little bit.
And it's really important that everyone's kind of just hovering around this mid lane section. Because look, in a lot of other games, I say, look, use your map, make sure that you're getting in towards these side lanes. Because the fights are coming so thick and fast, you have to be on the scene. You cannot be unaccounted for the big fight. Because imagine like everyone dies and you turn up after really no mates after that point, really.
True.
You've just got to watch like Baron go down.
Yeah, side laning these days doesn't exist as much as it used to.
It's just not a social thing.
No, it's not. You got to be present, you're right. That's why the party's always here. Kalisz knows that, but Jojo Pun jumps in to get smacked in the face. He's got TP, but he's going to have to back soon. Nate just grass on the top side of the fight. You can see that MOVISTAR KOI are getting battered. They ran in individually, and now Yoya has to pop the ulti. Alvaro as well wants to not only bail out, but tackle out KC as they get so much.
Exactly what KC want from this as well. We highlighted this earlier. The easier you can get some of these big ultimates from MOVISTAR KOI, the better it is for your team fight. You can blow the Shinzao ult, the Kalista ult, obviously that one's still up, but the Renata ult, stuff like that. It gives you so much more ability to play around stuff like Kalisz, huge poke coming out from the 3-item spike. Muramana transformation completed as well on that Varus. KC very happy with that phase of play. Sadly, it doesn't lead to a big objective for them, but that's the kind of game plan they want. Just get these ultimates as free as you possibly can.
And continue poking out after the fact. I mean, Kalisz is 3 items strong and doing so much work on this lethality Varus. Super was the one fed, but right now it feels like he can't get in range of Kalisz and the rest of KC, who's starting to zone control this top side as Baron has just spawned.
Okay, so Baron spawning those ultimates on MOVISTAR KOI coming back fairly quickly, a little over half cooldown left to be recovered from Alvaro's Renata. What else have we got on the board? Of course, the Dragon would be Sol, the next one on the table. KARMINE CORP. I have to say, I feel like Dragons in general haven't been as game-winning as before.
True.
That's normally been with Atakan kind of winning the game, but this time it's, well, it was kind of nullified at that point. So you might see that be more important again. So you're never going to turn down an Ocean Salt. KARMINE CORP can set up for that. One is Kalista's once again potentially angling for something in the mid lane.
Mirwin is looking for his own too. Jojo, Pune and Vladi though have been fighting it out all game, but Jojo's just lost his Spirit Rush. Yet again, Jojo, the 0-5 Ari, having a really tough time in his second day of LEC.
He's gone for, as big ult cooldown reduction build as possible to try and look for these plays, and I'm not going to criticize him for that, but it's just playing off of the platform of poor first few levels where KARMINE CORP forced him out of lane. It's really not been the best for him, and now potentially has to answer towards Baron if KC keep on this without that ultimate. Won't be back in time for a fight.
Well, Baron is slowly starting off. Vladi has perma Gatling gun. My ears are... all they hear is this Corky is TP going to start us off, and Baron is going to stop.
It is for now. However, teleport brought out from Mirwin removes some of the options for macro play from MOVISTAR KOI. Can't keep it in the bot lane, and of course you can see right now bot lane is not pushed up anyway, as it seems.
Because who cares? Again, side lanes. just not where we're at this time. The Gatling gun has stopped. Wait.
I'm happy.
Oh my god, it's still there.
I think it was just off screen for long enough. Yeah. Sorry about that one, buddy.
Yeah, that's alright. It's been happening for a while, and
it's like, you know, some noise cancelling headphones, they have like sounds of like a crackling fire or a running scream. Now, fresh from Summoner's Rift, you have ASMR Corky.
Oh my god. Something to go to bed to. You want a Gatling gun? You got it. Man, League of Legends selling okay, Google.
You got you an Ace machine
like
here.
Bedtime music.
Back towards the Baron again. Big ultimates available for MOVISTAR KOI.
You ever think if you say, okay, Google or Alexa, someone's house right now listening to this broadcast?
Don't do it. Don't do it. That is so
Alexa, play Despacito as we run into MOVISTAR KOI. Thinking about this Baron, Alvaro at half HP, but...
I like how you have this outward persona of saying, oh, you know, I'm a nice guy, very playful, stuff like this. I saw you in a hotel bully a robot where he was going up to deliver food to another floor and he pressed all of the buttons on the lift on the way there. This is the kind of person
Don't trust robots that deliver food in hotels.
I saw what happened to his Skynet, that's what you're saying.
Oh my lord. Yeah, it's happening. Well, if you haven't been to Chengdu, you're in for an absolute treat, especially if you like robots. KC, their angle on the back of this Baron is a little bit suspect as well because KOI are going to start it off, and you can see that not everyone's there. Targamas has to get into position. KC just thinking about how they approach.
And MKOI, they're going to stop stacking up those spears. They want to take a fight in a single direction, get the maximum value out of the Renata, block them out like that.
It starts with the Nature's Grasp, but Alvaro's ulti zones him off instead, but instead the engage is great. Targamas jumps on in and Super gets slow, but the Baron goes down. He got it in the end with his Ren, but can they escape with the buff? Alvaro is caught packing as well as KC have already gotten two. A third on the horizon as Mirwin has the flash, and Jojo, he got out earlier, but 3 for Baron is going to be the trade.
So Baron goes down, Dragon will go to KC, which I think earlier I said it would be the Soul. It's not, it's just I got confused by the Atacant symbol as well. It will be their third Dragon, they'll be able to claim that one. I don't think MOVISTAR KOI can really go towards that objective. And once again, we have ourselves another series of tight contests where KC do manage to skirt just past a lot of that disengage. I thought they'd be running straight into the Renata ultimate. Maybe if we see a replay of that big fight, we can see the angle of that one. Didn't quite get the value, which KOI really wanted out of that Baron fight.
Surprised again. I think that Ren came close. Let's watch in our...
Yeah, because you look here, right? Normally you think single direction, the wall's in the right kind of place. You can get a really good Renata ultimate. And actually, Alvaro's had some great ones there, but it doesn't really catch Yak and Targamas. So the engagers don't have to back off. They just walk to the side. They go in anyway. It delays it long enough that the backline has to then start retreating. Yes, they do somehow get the Baron very, very close to run stuff, but the Renata ult for me doesn't achieve quite what it wants to because it doesn't stop the engage actually coming through.
Had a bit of sound darkness. We just wanted to sit on that one for a little bit. Alvaro poked out. I mean, Kalist is dealing serious damage, but not enough here with the equalizer as well. Alvaro's going to get him out. Jojo again, the target tagged, but not dead for now. The grey screen stays away as MOVISTAR KOI still open up mid. That's what they wanted to do.
Jojo has ult and he has teleport. He can recall to recover his HP. At this point in the game, his ult's on like a 30-something second cooldown as well, especially if you manage to... Actually, I'm not sure what his ult stacks at. Maybe that'll change things in that, but it's still going to be around like the 40-second mark or so. It's so not really that long, and it also counts from the start of when you cast your ultimate too, so if you use it, wait out the 10-15 seconds it's on, it can basically be kind of permanently up for your combat stats. KC not able to get it for free just that time, and we're now left on an objectiveless map, which means that maybe we can finally go to side lanes. Start pushing things out. There's no objectives to start go out again.
That's so cringe.
Yeah.
No. Let's go down mid, boys. See what that's like. Maybe a difference. I mean, a 21 kill game in 31 minutes at least again. We've had some decisive plays here. We've had some attempted 5v5s. Not even attempted, I would say successful at some points, but MOVISTAR KOI right now, they're sitting on their Baron for... well, it's not 3.5 minutes, that's for sure. It's only 30 seconds left. If you can see Red Bull Baron power play as Elyoya, he's poked, he's phosphorus bombed, but now with the Crescent Guard out, he thinks he's okay until he's caught in place. Perma CC'd up with Yike taking the kill credit, but look, in this choke, Kalist is having the time of his life. Only 18, but he's counting the stacks as Mirwin is going to be next on the menu, boys. Take it down with Jojo going late, but he gets out. A Spirit Rush gets him out of dodge, but he's the only one alive as KC punish hard.
I guess that's why we don't go away from the mid lane. MOVISTAR KOI try it, they go into the enemy jungle, but it feels like the terrain just doesn't work out for them. It's a great ultimate from Yike to pin them into the bad terrain, and KARMINE Corp end up cleaning up shop again. Bliss is going to be able to take down this turret, and I feel like KC from this will get a lot of vision control. They'll be able to kind of control this bot side of the map, which seems they're pushing in through both mid and bot lane, and then they'll be able to go towards a later Soul with the setup they've got off of this big fight.
So much gold after such a short play, but such a big play that finally gives the first major lead in this game as well. especially when they're already sold points. 6,500 gold up. And remember, Movistar KOI, they were the ones who got Baron, a negative Baron power play at the end of the day.
And so much of that lead is on this little Corki that was just on your screen.
Yeah.
A huge amount of gold towards that Corki. Considering that Corki has a hard time playing against sometimes these Ahri aggressive mid-jungle combos, which we've highlighted the whole game. We've phrased it as like a okay, Elyoya and Jojo haven't got what they wanted out of the duo. On the other side, Vladdy's got everything he's wanted out of this. And he gets so much damage done in this last fight too. Talked about the terrain being really bad for Movistar KOI. They're forced into it because Elyoya goes a little bit too far and trying to exploit this reset on the map, trying to get into the enemy jungle. That was a fantastic Markel, and he skirts around the Renata ult. Again, Vladdy finds himself in a perfect pocket. It's not only he's getting a bunch of gold throughout this game, he's using it well in these fights.
He really is, and again, this whole game, he's had it head and shoulders over Jojo. This guy that we hyped up after yesterday seems like nothing in the face of the Greek mid as KC backing away here because Fate calls Fate starting us off. Targums might be called out. Crush down there. Finally a rebuttal here from Movistar KOI as Targa only just gets out, but look towards mid. Mirwin is by himself on 4 people from KC. Butted in the head. And Movistar KOI now in front of this Dragon Pit need a way to get out.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do about their mid lane? The turn and burn from Kalist puts them into such a good position now to take the HP advantage, run down mid lane, and start hammering on this turret, get themselves potentially even a threat onto the inhibitor. And Movistar KOI, they just used all of their tools to try and look for that fight. They have nothing to defend this one. And KC, this is a big lead for them now.
Yeah.
They can start controlling this mid lane so much easier with the super minions coming in.
Yeah, I mean, 7.5k, it just keeps piling up. Baron in 40 seconds as well. Feels like it's going to be hard for Movistar KOI to contest. That Soul as well is an option for KC. Something I know you're talking about, Dragons, that maybe not prioritized much anymore, but with these longer games, you get to it naturally.
You do. We've been, I think, blessed by this game with so much action. Well, it goes long as well. It feels like it has just been haymaker after haymaker. Kalista's been doing so well at pushing up here and not getting punished, and he does it again.
He does jump up, and Jojo tries to punish him. Good charm, but Kalist stays alive. No bailout reset as TP from Mirwin. He wanted to fight, but teleport takes so long. It's like getting in a taxi and going halfway across Berlin.
And they don't even have pocket shades. They're just sat there trying to get the coins out to pay the taxi driver. And they tried to go again onto Kalist. They failed to do it. Now it's just desperation. Go towards the Baron, hope for something good. Maybe you can get something in the 4v5.
Well, it's all throws bar, it feels like, at this point in the game for Movistar KOI as 4 members still sit strong and the shielding good, the redemption helpful. But look at Kalist poke. They say, no, never mind. Kalist gets jumped on, but Elyoya can't finish the job. Kana going golden buys time as Mirwin just tries to get to that backline. Chains Corruption stops him though, and now when he's all out, he's a squishy boy. He flashes away, running his space, but the rest of KC have got other things on their mind. A Super tries to pile it around, but against an Ocean Soul, he doesn't have the work anymore. Yes, he gets the Ren. Yes, he gets the bailout, but Kana with his triple shows us again that this import was worth the cost.
Jojo is going to walk up and try and wave clear. 1 versus Super. Vladdy is having none of it. Starts to turn on the damage. They will at least get an inhib off of this.
Jojo smack talked EU, but he hadn't versed Vladdy yet, had he? That was easy. That was the ace. And in the rivalry of France versus Spain, KC, I said Alonzi, and I meant it here for their second win, their 2-0 start in the LEC Winter.
Berlin is blue today.